Yo, what's going on, Donnies and Donettes? Come on, we're back again with another banger. And today, we've got our guest, our very first guest on the Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast. All right, guys, I'm going to introduce you to a brand new DJ, DJ Grounded. She's only started DJing since 2023. She's only been doing it professionally, taking bookings for the last year to 18 months. But guys, the strides, the moves, the advancements, the extras, what she's been able to do in that short space of time, in my opinion, is mind-blowing. So do you know what? Let's not waste any time. Let's get into this interview. Cheese on bread! Roll the VT24. DJ Grounded, man. Welcome to the podcast and thank you so much for coming, man. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited for this.
No, man, this is so good. And I think, do you know what's really good? It's the position that you're in. And I think there's going to be a few listeners that I think are really going to benefit from this episode. Because the main reason is that you've just come into the DJ game not that long ago. So there's some things that we're talking about, which I think, which will be really beneficial for, like I said, some of the people listening and for even for yourself as well. Do you know what I mean? So let's get straight into it. First of all, obviously, you're still quite new and stuff, but what is it that inspired you to get into DJing, DJ Grinder? What is it that made you say, yes, do you know what? Let me grab up these tunes and start to go. What is it that started that journey?
Well, I was first introduced to DJing at about 10 years old. Mm-hmm. I think at the time I was just too young to appreciate DJing as like an art form. And
okay.
Because I didn't understand it fast enough, I just wasn't interested in taking the time to learn it. Obviously, I was 10 and I was just in that kind of state of mind. Yeah. But I've always loved music. I used to always enjoy finding new music online, LimeWire days. That would be me after school pretty much every day. I'd just jump on the computer and start finding new music. It's just something really fun for me. Mm-hmm. Growing up, I'd always be the one to have a portable speaker with me. Mm-hmm. I remember getting a Wowie. I don't know if you remember that speaker.
What is that? Go on. What is it? What's a Wowie? Was it a Bluetooth, Wi-Fi? What exactly was that?
So it was like a jack insert, so you could play from your phone and connect it to the speaker. But the thing that was like a game changer about it for me is that you could put it onto any surface and then it enhances the bass. Oh, so the bass would be like off the chain. And for me as a kid, as a music lover, it was literally just the best thing. Like I'd be on the bus and tap it on the bus window and now the bus is a party and yeah. But yeah, just lots of things like that. I used to make my own CDs when I was young and I've just always loved music. And I remember recently, so this is just before I started my journey, I would be at a friend's house party, play music from my phone. And I just remember thinking to myself, this would be so much better if I knew how to mix the songs in properly. And so, yeah, it was in 2023, I decided to get myself an entry-level controller. Okay. And I thought to myself at the time when I got it, I'll just learn some basic DJ skills, probably treat it as a hobby, likely won't take it any further than being able to mix a little bit at a house party here and there. But then since I started, realised how much I loved it, realised that there was so much more to DJing than just mixing in songs. Yeah, and I just decided that I wanted to pursue it as a career. Just a hobby.
Say no more. And I think this is a conversation that I was having with one of my friends the other day about what is it that brings most DJs into DJing. And funnily enough, you're one, and there's quite a lot of others. It's the music inspiration. It's the constant playing of tunes, the tunes in the house, the vibes on the radio, whatever it is. Like you just don't prefer. You prefer music rather than silence. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it was like heavy, especially when I saw if I saw a DJ doing something, and it was mainly the scratching. Especially when I saw, because like I said, like as soon as you see someone doing something and you can hear it, I was like, that looks dope. I need to give that a try. I need to get onto that. But from what you're saying, your one was more like like, you know, you was always using the Bluetooth speakers and whatnot, and then there came a point when you was like, do you know what? It would be so much better. I can just manipulate the music. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically that is it in a nutshell. I wanted to just be able to blend the songs better. You know, if you're playing from your phone, it's just switching from one to the other. And I just thought, why don't I know how to do that for this exact kind of scenario, which I've been in loads of times, been at a house party or have friends over, or even like I've seen people DJing in the park, and I thought, why can't I do something like that? At the time, like I said, I never thought it would be something that I would see like longevity in and actually try and turn into a career.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, once I started, couldn't stop.
Yeah, you caught the bug, innit? You caught the DJ bug.
Yeah.
All right, so you started in 2023, which even that's not that long ago at all. And you mentioned about you got yourself a first controller. What was the first controller that you got?
So I started with the Numark Party Mix 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I had it for about a year before I grew out of it, I'd say, which is quite a long time.
No, that is quite a long time. And what is it that made you get the part? Because obviously, I think like one of the things with a lot of DJs is when they first come in, like there's like it's almost like overwhelmed. There's so much different controllers, like they're different brands, different things that you don't know what software to go over and all that sort of stuff. So what is it that made you go for the Numark Mixstream Pro?
The Party Mix 2.
Mix 2, sorry, not the Mixstream. That's a different one. That's the all-in-one unit. Yeah, no, yeah. The Party Mix 2. What is it that made you pick up that controller for your first one?
Well, I wanted something that wasn't a very big investment. I think that was kind of the key thing for me at first, because like I said, I didn't necessarily want to be a DJ. I just wanted to learn how to mix songs. And so I thought if I started with something that was just minimal investment, if I learned a bit about it and decided it's not for me, then it wouldn't be a big loss.
Yeah, okay.
So that was my thought process when I first bought it. But what I would say about it, obviously learning on it and using it for about a year, just under a year, is that it's just so good for learning. It's really small, compact, so it's great for like taking a round of you. You can plug it into your laptop, and that's where it gets power from. So do you remember I was saying about DJing at the park, for example? I could take my Party Mix 2 to the park with my laptop and not need to be able to plug it in to play. Yeah. That was something else that was good about it. But generally, it was just the price, I think, that sold me on it.
And how much is it? I think it comes in at, is it 80 quid or 89?
Yeah, it's about around that. It's definitely less than £100. I'd say around the £80 mark.
And I think that's a nice price to pay for like an entry level thing. And technically, it will do exactly what you wanted it to do. Like you said that you was doing house parties, you're doing, you know, friend meetups and stuff. So you're not looking for anything big. You're not even thinking about like clubs or bars or nothing like that. You're just thinking about how can I just play music while my friends them are chilling and we're just, you know, catching a vibe and whatnot. And I want to mix and blend tunes while we're all chilling. So technically, that is perfect for exactly what it is that you wanted it for. So yeah, man, that sounds like a good option.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
when you what is it? So now you're saying it took you about a year to outgrow it. When you say outgrow, what exactly do you mean? When was it? What was it that made you say I want more? What was it that the controller wasn't doing for you?
So I'd say it was when I started getting actual bookings.
Okay.
I didn't think that it looked very professional, turning up to clubs and events in nice spaces with a tiny little mini controller, basically. It's about A4 size. And I just remembered feeling amateur, basically, when I would be around the other DJs who had been doing it longer than me. And I wanted to fit in. I didn't want to look like an amateur. That was the first kind of point of call, I'd say. I wanted a better look and aesthetic.
Okay, yeah.
And then, what else was it about it? There's just a lot of limitations with that controller. Obviously, it costs around £80. It's not like a mid or high range. Yeah, it's not a big investment. So you can expect it to obviously not have loads and loads of features. It only has a jack input for speakers.
Okay, so no RCA or XLR. Remember, Shannon, we was talking about XLR before, granted.
Yeah, I definitely remember. And that was another thing. Those kind of conversations made me kind of realize, okay, if I want to take this further, there's other cables that I need to learn about and that I need to be able to accept into my controller. And that one did not accept it. It has no microphone input.
Okay,
And
okay, I didn't even know that.
yeah, no microphone input, and it only has 8 performance pads. So you're limited in terms of cue points and, you know, samples and things like that, or effects, anything that you'd be doing on the performance pads.
Okay, so when you say 8, you mean 4 on each side?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I think we're gonna make something clear. Do you know what, Grounded? Yeah, so guys, just so you know, I've known Grounded since she was 10 years old, and I remember, obviously, I've always been into DJing, and I remember saying to Grounded, back then as well, there was no very minimal female DJs in the game. On top of that, in my mind, I was like, if we can make a young female DJ, she's gonna go clear. She's gonna be, she's gonna be gone. So I was like, Grounded, man, come on, we need to start DJing. And this was Grounded's first introduction into DJing, guys. This is the Newmark Mix CD, the Newmark CD Mix 3. This is old school, classical. And the thing is, Shan, I don't even think you even used it. Did you even use it at all, or was it just kind of there?
I think there was a couple of times I attempted it, but for me, it was just too complicated. And at 10 years old, I wanted to just get on with it.
Yeah,
and
I get that.
If I didn't get it straight away, I'd be like, okay, on to the next thing.
Yeah,
what do I already know about, kind of thing. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's a shame though.
It
is a big
is, 'cause
shame.
what would be now? Grounded, what would be the case now? Like, oh my days. But everything happens for a reason. I think everything does happen for a reason. All right, so let's continue your story. So you did say you had the new small decks, you wanted to level up because you wanted to fit in, because you started getting bookings. So we need to track back and just say, when you started, how did you get your first booking and what did that look like? Because you're saying you went from just DJing with friends and DJing with, like, you know, at house parties and things, and then you went straight into bookings. Do you remember your first booking, or how it sort of leveled from just playing with, you know, at like, you know, motives and link ups and stuff to then actually playing into a venue? Do you remember how that actually happened?
Yeah, definitely. I remember, because it was like a kind of turning point for me, like ever since that day, where I realized this is actually what I want to do. Like I did my first booking and loved it and wanted to just continue learning and growing. So I remember it was November 2023, and the way I got that booking, I had been to an event a few weeks before that for a friend's birthday, and I just started networking. I spoke to the DJ that was DJing that night, and they were looking for a female DJ, and so for their upcoming next event. And so we got talking. They offered me, obviously, the booking. It was unpaid, the first one. Obviously, my skill was completely unknown, still fresh. I was still learning.
No, but I think that's a major key, and I think DJs need to listen to that, because I always say your first couple of gigs are most probably going to be free, because really and truly, you're still training. Like, really and truly, you're still training. So the people that give you those opportunities, so that, yeah, man, big them up. So there was no pay involved. Sorry, continue. There was no revenue. They put you on your first event.
Yeah, they put me onto the first one. I had some technical difficulties, I remember, but looking back on it now, is all part of the learning process. I still had my Party Mix 2 at that point, and my technical difficulty was being able to connect that controller that I'd been learning on, that I'd got comfortable on, to a different controller that was already at the venue, which I didn't feel confident enough DJing on solely that.
Okay.
So it was a learning experience to learn how you can connect one controller to another. And it meant that my playing time was very short, basically, because I had a slot and I spent majority of the slot trying to figure out how to get the controller connected. But for the time that I did play, about 15 minutes, I loved it.
Yeah, okay, but that was enough to not dishearten you at all, and it was enough to keep you like, nah, do you know what? I want to go again. I want to do it again. Have no errors this time, and enjoy the full set instead of just like stressing for the first, which I'm guessing half an hour, because that can be quite stressful as well. Even though maybe they might not have been a massive audience there, because I'm guessing when was you playing? What time was your set?
It was the opening set. I think I had 10 to 11, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm really lucky. I've got a really supportive friendship group. So I had my
Mm-hmm.
friends there who were excited for me for my first booking.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't very many other people in the venue. It was the staff that worked there. It was the event organizers. But for me, it was still a very big thing because, of course, you want to make a good impression
Of
to
course. Good.
everyone that it's hearing, particularly the people that have booked you. So you might get the
Yes.
opportunity to play with them again.
Mm-hmm. No, that is 100% a great point. Like, you definitely want to impress the people that's there. Was you nervous? Was there a lot of nerves? Did you feel like a lot of anxiety? Like, how did you feel especially when it wasn't going well?
Yeah, I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing
Mm-hmm.
and needed help. So there was definitely stress and anxiety around that. And I also felt pressure on myself because I had invited my friends to come along and hear me DJ in public for the first time. So I also didn't want to disappoint them. They've come out for
Mm-hmm.
me. So there was an element of that. So it was a little bit disappointing to only get about 15 minutes to play. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, looking back on it now, it's all learning stuff because now, or even a few times later, I had no issues with setting up my controller. If I needed to connect mine to a different one, I learned how to do that.
You've
And you
learned that,
only
yeah,
learn
yeah.
through experience. So.
Yes, 100%. I think, like, you know what I mean, learning through your mistakes, and some of those lessons are permanent. Like, now you're probably super confident. You would probably see a big deck and you'll still be like, no problem. Look in the back. You know what you're looking for. You know what you're doing. So it doesn't matter how intimidating or how big the setup is. You're like, look, it's all the same at the back. I've learned my red and white. I've learned my XLR, my RCA. I've learned the
Exactly.
inputs and outputs. I just need to hook those things up, click that switch, watch the green lights and the lights go on. I'm sound on coming in. Boom, I can go from there. Okay, so we've now got a couple of bookings under our belt. We want to upgrade. What did we upgrade to for first? How did we go from the upgrade? Because I think like this is going to be for some people kind of like where they might be at now, and they're looking at to get something better. What did you do and how did you do it?
So when I decided that I wanted to upgrade, I went to the School of YouTube and did some comparison work. So I probably typed in something similar to best intermediate level controller.
Okay.
So I've gone from entry level to intermediate level, I would say. And I compared what kind of controllers there were. I looked at their different price ranges, looked at the brands. And to be honest, because I had my first controller with Numark, and I was happy with that controller, I thought to myself, I'll just stay with Numark. I've had a good experience so far.
Yeah, yeah.
So I decided to go for the Numark NS4 FX.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's a 4-channel controller. And to me, it just generally seemed like a really major upgrade from my Party Mix 2
Party mix too, yeah.
to the NS4 FX, just because of the kind of functionality.
Yep.
So it had 4 channels, for example. It had the XLR input. There's just a bunch of things you could do with that controller that you couldn't do with the Party Mix.
The
It
Party
had the
Mix, yeah.
microphone input. So I thought, this is the one. Happy with it. Got
Yep.
it. Had it for about a week before I decided to return it.
Okay. So, what was it that what made you return? Like, how did we go from having it, happy with it, it's got all the upgrades, all the things that you wanted, and then you've had it for a week? What made you change?
So I had like a technical kind of difficulty with the controller.
Okay.
And I still to this day, I don't understand exactly what the issue was, but every now and then a song would jump. It would almost like skip a beat, and it was very noticeable to me, even though it was just a small thing. It would happen every 10 songs or something like that I'm DJing with, and I'd notice it. And unfortunately, I contacted customer services about it, and we weren't able to solve what the problem was.
Okay.
It's not something I had on my previous controller.
Yeah.
With the kind of rate that I wanted to grow myself as a DJ, I didn't want to be stuck with a controller that had that issue. And I thought, is it the controller? Likely, because it didn't happen with my last one. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to return it and go for something better. And I had heard all about Pioneer being the pioneer.
Yep.
So I thought I'm going to go for a Pioneer controller instead.
Okay. So you left the Newmark brand and you went to Pioneer. And what was it that you got? What did you change up to?
So I was debating between the FLX4 and the FLX6.
Yeah.
I decided to go with the FLX6.
How come over the FLX4?
So for a couple of reasons. So I use Serato as my
DJ software.
Yeah, my DJ software. And the FLX6 comes with Serato Pro.
Okay.
So as part of the package, when you're buying that controller, it comes with the Pro subscription, which is normally a paid for service.
Yeah.
It comes with that as part of the FLX6.
Yeah.
The FLX4 doesn't. You can still use Serato DJ Lite with it, which is the free software, but you'd have to pay extra to get the pro features.
Oh, okay.
So that was a really big selling point for me, because I was thinking long term, if I buy the FLX6 now, I'll probably actually be saving in the long run. The price difference between the two, I don't have the exact amount, but I'd say it's at least over £100.
Yes, it is.
And if I was paying for the subscription each month, after a year, I would have already spent that £100 if I got the other controller.
Yeah. Good maths.
Yeah, quick maths. That's what I was thinking long term with it.
Yeah. And it's good. Long term. That's good. I love the fact that you're thinking long term. This is good.
Yeah, the other thing was, and to be honest, isn't a big deal to me now, that this kind of consideration, but another selling point for me of the FLX6 was that it was a 4-channel controller, whereas the FLX4 is a 2-channel controller. And again, I was thinking long term. I thought eventually I'm going to get to a point where I want to be able to use 4 channels.
Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't want to limit myself. I thought if I'm going to spend this amount of money on a controller, I want it to last me a long time, and I want the kind of flexibility to have 4 channels if I want to use them.
Yeah.
At this stage, I rarely ever use 4 channels.
It's funny because not a lot of DJs do. It looks good. You know, when you was talking earlier about aesthetics. So when you look at the FLX4 alongside the FLX6, the FLX6 looks like a massive upgrade. Like, wow, look at that. That looks like just off look, especially if you're new and you don't know, like you're just looking at equipment, it looks like a massive jump compared to what the FLX4 is. In terms of what they can do, they're very similar. There's not much difference with what they can do. Like they can both do similar things. But yeah, the 4-channel thing, I remember when 4 channels first come out and everyone's like, yeah, they want 4 channels. And I was like, what are you going to do with us? What are you going to do with those 4 channels? I mean, even myself, the most I use one of the other channels for is before stems came out, what I would do is that I would mix 1 channel a cappella. So if you've got 1 channel playing an a cappella song and then your other 2 channels, you're just mixing. Now this sounds like, because you got like this a cappella and tunes that are just coming in out of nowhere, like it sounds dope. And I thought, yeah, that's wicked. That's wicked. But in terms of like actual 4-deck mixing and things of that nature, it's not something I've been really, really, really big on. Or if I'm doing a wedding or something and I've got like a first dance or something, a special track, I will put a special track on a separate channel So it just kind of just sits there. It's more of an aesthetic look. So you've got basically big, and then you've basically got big, and then you've got small. But I think it's really smart. The reason why you went for the FLX6 over the FLX4 for the pro features, because like you said, you're thinking long term, and you might as well get something that's going to last you much, much longer than that will. Not to say the FLX4 is not a great choice, guys. It's amazing. That controller is...
Yeah, no, I actually totally agree. And thinking back to it now, if I was to make the decision again, I think it would be a really difficult decision for me, because obviously I've discovered that the only real benefit for me personally with the FLX6 is the subscription that you get with it, the pro subscription. I think the FLX4 is better because it's smaller.
Yeah, it's more mobile, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, the FLX6 is actually too much to lug around. I don't like having to pack a huge controller with me, because it's all the cables, it's the stand, it's your headphones, there's just so much to bring with you. I would prefer if I had a smaller controller. Yeah, so...
Okay, that's a good point. All right, Shine, you're dropping some good gems for the early doors. People are like, ooh, maybe I should... No, do you know what? She's right, I don't really want to be carrying a big back, but I like the FLX6. Yeah, but I want my backpack with my microphone and my head. I want everything to fit in one bag. Yeah. Like, it's that. Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot to consider.
And that's why these podcasts are good, because it helps people make some informed decisions. All right, so Grounded, like, I want to talk about, like, because obviously you're a bit of an entrepreneur, innit? Like, you're a bit of a... Actually, you're not a little bit of an entrepreneur. You are definitely a full-on entrepreneur with how you do things and how you start and dabble with things. And let's talk about Shop Donell, because I'm a happy customer, but I think I want the peoples to know, what is Shop Donell, and let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So Shop Donell is a personalized gifting and business branding service.
Okay.
I first started it in lockdown.
Nice.
I was off work and wanted something just good to do with my time, basically. I wanted to spend it wisely. And I always wanted to have my own business, and I just started investigating online, originally, how I could make my own clothing brand.
Okay. As you do. Everyone wants the clothing brand.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'm sure everyone at some point has thought, I bet I could make really nice t-shirts or hats. Yeah, it was hats for me, actually. That was something that I really wanted to do. So I started investigating how could I start? What equipment would I need? And I came across the machine that I use now. And again, similar to how I started my DJing journey, I thought to myself, I'll just treat it like a hobby. If I get it and realize it's not for me, then that's okay. I can still make t-shirts for my nieces, or, little bits and bobs like that.
Yeah, sure.
And when I got the machine, I realized that the possibilities are literally endless with the types of things that you can make.
Yeah.
And so now that's what I do. I make pretty much anything and everything. My slogan is anything personalized.
Yeah.
So from clothing, hats, trainers, stickers, labels, business cards, laptop covers, anything you can imagine, really, that you would want your name on or your logo on.
Yeah,
I can help with. Here's an example of my business cards.
Okay. And you've done them yourself, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so do you know what? Yeah, like I said, I'm a customer. Some of you, if you've seen on my TikTok, if you ever hear me talking about Shop Donell, this is the creator. This is the one that makes all of the different things. Like literally, when you see my flight cases, my DJ headphones, my suitcases, like anything that's hard and solid, you would be the one that brands that. And then I've got another company that does like my stitching and my embroidery. But most of the things that I have around me that is branded, like you do a lot of them. You do a lot of them Grounded. So, and it's funny because obviously when you came into the DJ space, I was getting branded stuff from you before you started, going into the DJ. So when you started saying, yeah, you're going to start doing the DJ stuff, I was like, hey, your stuff's going to be branded light. Like, you're going to have branded cups when you're DJing, branded, everything's going to be super, 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 super branded. Have you found, now that you're in it, have you found that you've branded things as much as you have or would, or how's that going for you having that power to make things for yourself? Do you use that? Do you not? Like, how does that work?
I think I definitely see the importance of it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a conversation that you and I have had before, the importance of branding
Yeah.
and having a succinct brand message as well.
Mm-hmm.
So designing a logo or having someone design you a logo, and that being the same logo that's on your laptop, that's on your business cards, that's on your polo shirt or whatever your uniform might be, so that the brand messaging is succinct. When they see that logo, they know that it's you that's on the branding.
Yeah.
So that for sure I see the importance of, by helping other businesses with their branding. I think for me personally, because I do it so much for other people, I haven't got to the kind of root of it for myself.
Yeah.
It's something I definitely want to improve on. So that's where I am with it.
And I think it's good because obviously when you're ready, you've got the necessary things to do exactly what it is that you need to do. So when you say you want to make, I've got a show next week and I want a branded t-shirt on this color that looks like this, like you can create that yourself. So you can imagine it, and then your imagination will imagine the things that you know that you can do, which makes it like really, really good. So guys, man, like you heard DJ Grounded say, if you need any branding, logo, cups, she had the list there. If there's anything that tickles your fancy, make sure you give her a follow. We're going to put both of her pages inside the description. So make sure you guys make use of that, man, because we all can do better with some of our branding, for sure. All right, so Grounded, I want to quickly talk about, because like I said, following your journey online, especially, like I say, even though you've been doing it for getting bookings for the last, year or so, some of your bookings have been, absolutely crazy. I remember there was one time when I saw you was abroad, and I said, oh my, how are you abroad already? Some people are still trying to get into their local pub, and this one's on an aeroplane. She's going somewhere and doing something. Let's talk about your first international booking, because for someone in your time in DJing, that is a crazy, crazy, crazy milestone to reach. So let's talk about that. How did that happen, and how did you find that experience?
Yeah, so I'm really happy and proud of that achievement, to be honest. And I guess it happened, I went to a festival in Malta last year, and I'd say that it is strictly down to networking. If you don't kind of put yourself out there and let people know what you can do, what you want to do, and what your skill set is, then they're not going to know. So it is just straight down to networking.
Wait, hold on. Can you say that? Can you say that one more time? What is it?
Networking.
Okay, just for the people that are not listening, can you say that one more time? What is it that got you your first international overseas booking?
Networking.
All right, I think we can move on now, because I just want to make sure, because people sometimes ask, they're in my DMs asking questions about a lot of different things. I'm like, networking is the major key. If there's something that you want to do, you have to go. Sometimes, I love what you just said there, Simon. You never went there to get an international booking. You was already traveling. You was out. You was there. And it was when you was there, that's when you made something happen. So sometimes people are like, how do I get... I'm like, the next time you're on holiday, you see that bar? You see that club? You see that venue? You see that hotel? You see anywhere? When you're on holiday, you're on holiday. You're on holiday. And if you can turn that into an opportunity, this is what we call Brucey bonus, man. This is a big bonus, because you came to go on holiday with your friends, your family, whatever it may be, but now you've left, you've got this email address and you've got this number that you can contact for something different. So, major key. Anyway, let's proceed. Carry on. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to touch on that as well and say that rule applies to at home as well. If there's an event that you love to go to and you can imagine yourself DJing there, when you go to that event, go and try and source who the DJ is there now, or the event organizer or the promoter, and just put yourself out there. That's the only real way to be found.
Definitely.
So yeah, so after a bit of networking at the event in Malta, I learned that the festival team were putting on another festival in Gran Canaria. So they gave me the opportunity to DJ there. And so, yeah, that was my first international gig, and it was amazing.
Because I think, like, with that, like, that for a lot of people, that's like a far mecca. That's like a very high level before they're like, oh, I'll never get to DJ abroad or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But it is definitely possible. And similar to like what you were saying, the most major key is the network, because it's going to be someone else who's going to put you where you want to be. Do you know what I mean? If that makes any sense. It's not going to be you who's going to put yourself where you want to be. Not to say that it can't be, definitely it can. But it's most likely going to be someone else that's going to give you the opportunity or the space to do something else that you might not have been able to do. So networking, guys, talking to people that are where you want to be, the people organizing, the person running the page. You can even, the thing is with networking as well, is that some people don't understand it. It definitely can happen online as well. It might be a bit more difficult. Like, there's the same way people DM us to book us is the same way we could DM someone else to give us an opportunity or for us to get into a store. So you can use it both ways. Do you know what I mean? It might be a bit slower, as you know, you could send out DM, and you don't get no reply. It's a bit more different when you're at someone's venue or in front of the DJ. The DJ's about to go and you're like, and you're speaking to him now. He might, or she might give you the time of day. Do you know what I mean? So networking, guys. If you want to go international, you got to network and talk to some people. You feel me? All right.
Big facts.
So when on these first international bookings, how much did you get paid for like your first one? Like one that you said you done in Gran Canaria. How much did you get paid for that? Was there like a fee involved or?
There was a fee involved. However, just to be transparent about it, the pay isn't paid in like a typical way.
Okay.
So there isn't like an X amount for my booking. So the way that I get paid for this festival booking is actually based on the amount of ticket sales that are sold because of me.
Yes.
So basically, the more that I promote it and people use my booking code to secure their booking, the more I get paid, basically. So it's like a win-win for both me and the events organization team, because for me, it's a really good opportunity for exposure that I'll be DJing at these festivals. My name will get further out. Obviously, I get paid based on how many tickets there are. And on their side, it's more exposure for them, of course. They'll get more people coming to their event. So it works both ways. But I just wanted to be a bit transparent about the international booking, because it sounds really glamorous. And it is something I'm really proud of. But it just works a little bit differently to how people might expect.
Yeah, and I think I appreciate that transparency as well, because I think like some people look at things online and they just imagine everything's all like, oh man, they must have got paid loads for that, and that must, and maybe there was flights included, and there was this, and they didn't pay for nothing, and they had a chauffeur, and on my days they was living like there was James Hype. But that's not necessarily the drill. Like I remember when I was heavily in the club space, that was quite a normal thing. Like you get paid more based on ticket sales. Like so. If you just started on an event, sometimes you might not get paid anything, or sometimes there might be a base rate. They might say, okay, look, your base rate's £70. You might be like, I'm not DJing for £70. It's like, no, but you earn £5 commission on every ticket that you sell, or something like that, which then that can exponentially change if you're able to sell 10, 15, 20 tickets, that can really change how much you're getting paid. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you can make more money on your commissions than you would do on the base rate pay.
The base, yeah.
And more so, on the next event, they end up prioritizing you because you're an asset to their team. They know that you can sell, and they should hopefully value you more when they give you a better set time and more opportunities, and it just kind of grows. So it's like we were saying before, like the whole DJing thing, doesn't matter which avenue you want to go down, it is definitely a graft. And I love the fact that you used that word a couple of times earlier. You kept saying you're on you're looking at the long haul, the long picture of it. I mean, so when you're thinking like that, it will give you a much better success rate because you're thinking about long. So the things that you're doing now will obviously pay dividends and obviously keep stacking on top of each other. And then when you're somewhere in, 3 to 4 years from now, and someone will be like, oh my God, how did you get there? And you'll be like, it's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey. But that is wicked, man. And it can, that's, like I said, on social and all of that sort of stuff, make sure sometimes you got to reshare that content, you got to reshare because if it's social media, like people didn't see that, like there'll be some new followers you've got in the last month or two. They didn't see that you was abroad last year. You got to show them. So sometimes repurpose that content as well.
Yeah, for sure. That is something that I really want to work on. Just my general kind of social media presence. But yeah.
Yeah, we got time. You got time. So don't worry about that. All right. So Grounded, before we come up to the last couple of questions, I want to know before we shoot is, tell me of a DJ that inspires you. There must be someone. We've all got, as a DJ, there's always someone else that we're looking to or looking at or following online or anything that we that inspires us and we look to. Who is that person and why do they inspire you?
This is a difficult one. I don't know if we should do this one. Only because there's a DJ and her name used to be Joss Wavy and now she's changed her name and I don't remember what her name is now.
Well, we can stick with Joss Wavy for now. We can stick with Joss Wavy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say Joss Wavy is my inspiration.
Okay, and why is that?
So I followed her journey probably just before I started DJing. And I think I can relate to her in the sense of I can see myself in her, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
She's young, she's mixed, she's from England. And yeah, I just think that she's really pretty and I like her DJing style. Okay. And her growth has just been immeasurable, basically, from where she was to where she is now. She's just done so much, and some of the gigs that she's played at would be my absolute dream. So for example, she opened for A Boogie, which is one of my favorite artists. Yeah. Things like that would be my dream. She plays at a bunch of festivals in London. Again, another dream of mine to be able to play somewhere like Wireless. It's just inspirational to see somebody from kind of similar backgrounds, I guess, as me, being from the UK, being a female. So I find her inspirational.
Oh, no, man. And the reason I ask that is because I feel like everyone should have someone that they're looking at, and it could be anything that aspires them, whether it's what they've done, their musical technique, they produce, their DJ style, the type of music they play. I feel like every DJ should have someone that they're kind of watching or looking at and saying, yeah, like, that's dope. Do you know what I mean? Because it then keeps the fire burning. Unless, I don't know if I've met someone who's going to be like, oh, I don't have no one that inspires me. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, big man. And those are the ones that will be like, everyone is inspired by someone. And if anyone wants to say no, it's because they don't want to big someone up. That means that they're having to big up a next person. I call those people pagans. I mean, I like them. But anyway, we're coming to the end. And to end this podcast, I thought you being someone who's quite new to DJing, I'm going to give you the open format. We're going to switch roles. So now you're going to be the person who's asking questions to myself. So you've got 2 questions to ask me, Grounded, and whatever it is, I'm just going to answer them as fully transparent as possible. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I mentioned before that something that I really want to do is grow my online presence.
Yes.
So my question for you is, if you were me, what would you do to grow online and build your personal brand?
Okay, so if I was you, what I will be doing to grow my personal brand is 100% posting. And the thing I told you about repurposing content, if you're at a stage where you haven't got a lot of content, believe it or not, the internet does not care. There is times when we feel like, oh, we can't post that because my friend saw it or my friend liked it or whatever it may be. And let's just say we're in this series now where there's not a lot of bookings for the time of year or whatever it may be. I would then go back to some of my old stuff. I will go back to all my old footage, anything I've got on my phone, anything. And I'm starting to look at what can I post. If you've got videos of you DJing in the background, if you've got your friend with a picture, if there's a video or a post that you post and it done well, get that post back up to the top of your feed. So the main thing I would say is definitely going ham on social, and I would probably attack more than one place. So I will probably go for TikTok and I would go for Instagram. And then what would start to happen is that your consistency of posting, the social medias will see that you're busy, and the algorithm will hopefully start to work for you. Instead of it working against you, some people they hate the algorithm and stuff. The algorithm is there to serve a purpose, and it's to give people what they want to see. So if you're a DJ and you're looking to be in front of booking agents, brand companies, these kind of things, what is it that they want to see? One thing they want to see is that you're active. That's 100% what they're going to want to see. And if they see that stuff, then you're going to be able to get a chance to hopefully be in front of them or keep popping up on their pages. And once they do notice you, when they go into your page and they can see a lot of content, they can see, then that is their validation to you. That's them saying, okay, this person knows what they're doing. They're busy, they're active. So all of those fears and doubts what a general booker might have disappear straight away because they can see you're active, you're posting a lot, you're doing a lot. So yeah, to wrap up in a nutshell, that is what I would say. And because usually people's pushback would be, I haven't got enough to share. I'm like, if you've done 5 gigs and you've got content from those 5 gigs, you've got enough to share. The only thing that's holding people back is because they think that, I don't want to share it again, and what if, and oh my God, and my answer to that would be, no one gives a damn. Like, stop acting like you're the most important person. No one cares. If you post something last month and you post it again this month, no one cares. No one cares. No one's. You think your friends? Oh, you posted that last week. So my reply, if someone comes into my comments and said, "I swear you posted that," I'm like, yeah, I did. I'm posting it again.
Yeah.
And the main reason is because you don't. Social media's only give you. They never give you 100% of your reach. They're not showing your stuff to 100% of the people. So rinse and repeat. That's what my advice would definitely be.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
A problem for me that puts me off of posting sometimes is I'm really particular about the way that I want things to be viewed.
Yep.
I actually don't struggle in terms of the amount of stuff I've got. I've got loads of content.
Brilliant.
Recently, what I did is I went through my whole camera roll, split everything into folders of all of my different business ventures, and it just highlighted to me how much stuff I've actually got. But it holds me back because I want to post it in a certain way, and I think I'm just a bit of an overthinker.
And when you say certain way, what is it that you're saying exactly?
So it might just be that I need to edit it to in a succinct way. I might want to merge videos together. I might want to find a certain part of a clip that's the best. So just being a bit more thoughtful about the content, and then I procrastinate and don't post anything, basically, what my issue is. The
one thing I'll say is that it sounds like you're definitely overthinking. This is 90% of people do. And we think we need to. I can tell you now, all my posts that have gone viral are never the ones I thought would go viral. They are never. They are the ones that I put up and be like, nah. And those are the ones that do it. So therefore, my answer to your question then again, or to what you're saying, is that you don't decide what's good. The audience do. The audience do. Your job is to give the audience the opportunity to decide. Yes. So just up it goes, 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 up it goes. That's what I would say. Get out of your own way. This is to you and anyone else who's listening to this. Get out your own way. Nobody cares. And let the audience decide. And they will start deciding. And you will start seeing. And you'll be like, there's me thinking I've got to edit and do all of this stuff. No, they don't want that. They don't want that. That glossy, oh, and I want to get the lighting right, and I wanna. No one cares about that one. You know, the rubbish one, the grainy one, the one that you don't like, that's the one everybody loves. That's just the way it works. Ask anyone who's gone viral and they will tell you.
Okay,
So that's what I would say.
you. So I got one more question for you.
Yep, no problem.
I've got an idea for a kind of online series and I want to get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
So what I want to do is my top 10 songs from each of my favorite artists. So, for example, my top 10 Drake songs that you may or may not know. Mm-hmm. And then it would be, obviously, 10 songs mixed in. And I think if I did that for all of my favorite artists, and there's loads of them, then I could create almost like a series for it. And it would be introducing people to music that they may not know. Yeah. Because in those 10 songs, Drake might not be the best example because obviously most of his songs are quite famous and popular. And those might fall into my top 10. But someone like A Boogie is one of my favorite artists, but I don't think many people know a lot of his music.
No, they don't.
So that could be a way for me to introduce people to his songs that I think are amazing, basically. And I could do that for an unlimited amount of artists, basically.
100%. This is sounding like a content nest. But carry on.
Yeah, that's basically the crux of it. I just wanted your thoughts on it. Obviously, I could go to different genres that I'm into. I could go to the dancehall world.
It's literally endless. It's endless. It's endless grounded. Like, it's a great idea. It's 100% great. Where was you thinking of doing it, and have you thought about how you would do it?
No, I haven't. The way that I thought about just starting it, and it's not like a completely thought through idea, but it would just be at home, basically. Find somewhere with a nice backdrop. And make a playlist of my top 10 songs for each of the artists. When I film it, it would come up with a list of the text of each of the artist names and song names for each of the 10. And then my idea would just to be kind of like open the floor to the audience and say, what songs did I miss? Okay. Or, what do you think of these songs?
So the first one that comes to my mind as you started speaking was a carousel. Do you know what a carousel is? So the first one that comes to my mind is carousel. When I think about content, and I say this to myself and to anyone, is make it simple. When we make a content strategy or a content idea and we want to do this, that, and this, and sometimes we end up not doing it because we've got to take a whole day out and we've got to plan this and make sure. No. So then the first thing I thought about is something simple but effective. So it would be you talking to the camera and saying this. All right, so we're going to do the same, like, because it's going to become a series, it will be, okay, this is the new one, like, all right, you know what I mean? I'm going to give you my top 10 on this artist. You mention the artist, you say why you like them, and then they scroll through to see your top 10 tunes. Or you could do this tune, and then afterwards you come back again and you say why you like that tune. And then next tune, then they and that way people can, if people come to your carousel and they spend time, which is what carousels are really made for. If they come and they digest and listen to what you're saying, yep, swipe next. That's a banger. Okay. Next, listen to what you got to say. Yeah. You know, I agree. Okay, next two tunes. Whoop. Oh, I've never heard that song. What's the name of those songs? If people start doing that, those carousels will become gold mines. And obviously, you always tag the artist in. Or even better, collaborate with the artist. If the artist ever accepts that collaboration, hey! So that's what I would say. Simple, effective, and does what you're doing. It shows you're educating others, so you're helping others understand music. You're showing your interest in music. So if anyone agrees with what you say, they're like, I'm booking this DJ for my next whatever, whether it's my birthday, my party, someone else having a party. I'm like, you got to book Grounded. She knows tune. Look at what she's saying about these artists and stuff. So I would say that one, that's a great idea. Two, carousel style on TikTok and on Instagram. Three, make sure you tag the people in, say your honest opinions, and make sure you actually like the songs that you're talking about, and don't do it for, like sometimes people might be like, oh, I don't like this artist, but it will get a good reaction. No, when you're talking about music, be like fully authentic, I would say, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd find it too difficult to talk about an artist that I don't like.
Yeah,
It's
or
just
you
more fun to be genuine anyway, because there
100.
are endless songs that I love and I actually wish people knew. So that's kind of what inspired the idea. Sometimes I'll go and play out somewhere and play songs, and it's actually really nice to be able to introduce people to new music. So I want to kind of apply that same formula.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant because there was a time when that's what DJs really did. Like, if you listen to your own music, that's you listen to yourself. But when you went out, DJs would play songs that you don't know, but know that you would like because, you know, we know vibes, we know kind of what essence, what bangs, and we'll bring new songs to the dance. I remember back in the day, back in the vinyl days, if I got a brand new banger, I loved it when a song got released on a Saturday morning. If I was to go to the record shop, I know what are today's releases. If I'm DJing tonight, whatever releases he's given me, no one's heard at the club yet. No one's heard it. And then it was brilliant to be like, I've got this new song. No one's heard this song. And like, it's not even hit charts yet. And then when you drop that song and then you get that reaction, you're remembered every time that song is played. Every time that song. I remember Pow, I'll never get, like, not Pow, More Fire Crew, when they came out with a tune called Oi. Back when that tune first came out, record shop said, this is landed today. Dubplate. It didn't even have the record, just white. It was a white label. Didn't even have their picture, nothing on it. And when you drop that, everyone's like, oh, what's this? And then after that, the song blows up, and then you're kind of like the guy that kind of popped it. But that's what we used to do more so back in the day. So you're going back to those roots of fundamentals of DJing. So I think it's a great idea. Granted, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see this series. Like, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. Sick. Hey, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I like that.
Thank you. And thanks for the advice. I like the
No
idea of a
problem.
carousel. It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. It makes sense, and then you can get the music videos. How you get them? I would say keep them short so you don't get the copyright stuff and all that sort of rubbish. But you know what I mean. 30 seconds is more than enough, just a chorus of the song or whatever. I think that would be perfect. That would be perfect. All right, grounded man. We have come to the end of this episode. Hey, that was good. That was fun. That was all right. That was decent. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's really nice to speak to you and just share my experience. So yeah.
And I hope some of the listeners got something from this episode as well. And you can definitely watch it back and see everything that we were speaking about. Make sure you go and check out DJ Grounded and also check out Shop Donell. All the links and the stuff will be in the description. Make sure you give them a follow. And go and see if you want to get your DJ stuff branded, anything that you want to get personalized, which I think us as DJs we should all be doing. Make sure you hit up DJ Grounded, and also, man, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube or to the podcast or the wherever you're listening to this. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Amazon, we're on all the places. So make sure you subscribe, and if you want to get in some comments, Instagram is going to be the best place. If you would like to be a guest on the show, or if you know someone that will be good, give us a mention, man. We can get them on the podcast as well. Anyway, Grounded, man, I hope you have a good week, man. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll catch up soon.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, take care.